No.
Did you say no? You said
No. No. But we here now. We here now.
Shit,
Alex
nigga,
ain't even ready, G.
Nate lost a little weight, man. He getting them one type shirts, man. Shirt with the random smiley faces and shit on them, G.
Hey, this is actually a shirt from my fat boy days, G. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm trying to get right.
G, we just got Alex fucking forehead in the camera, G.
I'm good now.
He got them fat ass collars, G.
John got some good head on that bitch, G. I see you, G.
God,
Nigga, Alex looks like he looks like a younger.
Hey, we can't.
He looks like a younger Cornel West, G.
We can't start every pod going in on Alex, bro. Like we can't do it.
Alex
bro.
looks like Cornel West before
Like,
the hair turns gray.
y'all be forgetting that Alex got a wife out here, bro. Like we can't start every pod going in on this nigga, G.
Nigga, I'm flat, my nigga.
Cornel West.
Y'all see the G-Star?
Bro, no way, G.
Is that a
No way, G.
Is that a work shirt, G?
It looks like a work shirt.
Is that a work
It's
shirt?
a G-Star polo, my boy.
How many buttons your polo got this week, G?
One, two, three.
No.
Only one unbuttoned though. I kept the bottom one button for you.
What's G-Star? Is that work shirt?
No, nigga. All right, man.
I go hold you.
I really don't know what G-Star is. Like, am I
You
supposed
look
to
like
know?
you. Hey, polos just ain't.
Yeah,
for
you
G.
should
look
know.
like you weight your collars down, G.
Who
Like
is-
like.
Who is G-Star, man?
Pop it up, son.
No, nigga, like I'm dead ass serious. What the fuck is G-Star? Why do I not know?
Nigga, like I don't know how to explain to you. It's a brand.
It's a brand. It's a brand.
Now I gotta look it up, G.
This nigga ain't shit.
Man,
G-Star Polo. Let's see.
Y'all gotta get with it, bro.
they probably don't make nothing past a 2X. That's probably why we don't know it.
Yeah, that's probably.
And Alex definitely looked like he needed 3G, but he's
No,
squeezing
hey,
into the 2G.
Nah, my shit good.
Y'all got the fault. Like we're not gonna start every pod going in on Alex, G. We're not doing that shit.
Let me see. Shirts and tops, polos.
All right, well, let's get to it, man. Alex, put your phone down, G. Let's talk, man.
Your logo way bigger than the shit that I'm seeing online right now.
Because this is older. I done had this shit for a few years.
I mean, like that shit way bigger than the shit I'm seeing online.
G, that shit look like it's a World Tennis Association, G.
I definitely
Yeah,
got
I got
this
this
off
here,
polo.
I got this from Saks Fifth, off Fifth, bro. So it's legit. It ain't no foo-foo ass shit. It's just an older one. I done had it for
Your shit
years.
just say raw, G.
It says raw, yeah.
It's G-Star
Like-
Raw. That's
like-
the little G-Star logo right there. Man, y'all
G, where
niggas
the
know
G
what I'm
at,
talking
G?
about.
Like
Hey, G, the top.
this nigga got on a
G.
rolling paper shirt, G.
I just want y'all. I just want y'all to lay off my nigga Alex for one episode, G. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nigga, you started it. Fuck you talking about?
Yeah, you really did.
I just didn't know what G-Star was. Like you can't blame me for that shit.
The shirt don't even say G. It just says raw, man. Like he worked at a sushi house or something, G. Like, I don't know, man.
Man,
Go look it up, bro. It's G-Raw. G-Star Raw.
man, I'm over here
That's a big ass
sunburnt.
G right there.
I'm over here sunburnt, G. You know what I mean?
You already taking in the summer vibes, bro.
Hey, I'm out here. I'm trying to get to my summer glow early this season, bro. You know what I mean?
The nigga get a new body, G, and don't know how to act, G. Now
Hey,
he- nigga get a new body, G. Now he want to go out to the pool and
hey,
shit.
G. How many niggas with a pod over 6 foot, G? Raise your hand.
What you trying to say?
Hey, I'm just asking if you try to get a knee BL, G. You know what I'm saying?
A DBL, G.
Nah, I'm good. I'm at 5'11". That's tall enough.
Oh, you close? You close enough? Like it's
Yeah.
niggas out here really getting knee BLs, bro.
That shit.
Yeah,
really
man.
bro.
I mean, it looked like a long recovery too, man.
It's an expensive procedure.
They break
do-
their legs, right? And then put like rods in between them or something, and then they like grow the cells to like make the bone. It's some
Nigga,
shit they doing.
My body hurt right now, nigga. Let's not talk about
No, I just want to. Do women really care that much about?
Wait a
niggas' height?
minute. They put rods. So these niggas is Wolverine. They got adamantium. Like
Yeah, but
like,
I think
skin
it just
extenders, G.
they like do something to like help the actual bone cells regenerate and close the gap, and then it's like stages to the procedure. So they only do a little bit at a time, but then
These
after,
niggas be handicapped for like 3
My nigga
years.
Alex,
G.
my nigga Alex done looked
He
into
done
this
looked into it, G.
No, I ain't
just
gonna lie
seen
to
the
you.
shit, so I was
He
like,
got the
what is
deets.
this?
Look, this is gonna
He
sound
got the
cool.
deets.
This is gonna sound cool, but I can't wait to see like a vicious skateboarding injury for a nigga that got a knee BLG. Like I just want to see
That's
if it
like the
shit go
weakest point of the chain link.
like
Yo.
Avatar or something, G.
Yo, I got a lot of short homies, bro, and a knee BL, if it's an expensive, I think it's like 40 G's, bro.
Let me ask you what's more let me ask you what's more egregious,
Like
right?
40 G's.
So what's more egregious, right? A nigga who was like 5'6" showing up one day at like 6 foot, or a nigga that was bald showing up with like dreadlocks? Because that's about what we talking about. Like they're both
See,
drastic changes. Don't you gotta
I don't
move
think
like a
I
new
think they got a
identity?
limit on how much they can extend your height. I think it's only like 2 or 3 inches. I
I
don't know
think
if they
it's
can go
two.
to
It's
4
2 to
inches.
4 inches is what I.
Oh, okay.
Hey, yo, pause. It was about 2 to 4 inches. 2 to 4 inches from what I read. From what I read, bro. You know what I mean?
I think the dreadlock shit.
How
And
is
I
that
have,
more egregious?
Hey,
Bro,
I was talking to my sons earlier. So my sons both got locks, but they've had like a fade under their locks. So they only got the top. Similar to my man John, right? And they want a full head of locks. And I told them, either you about to be out here looking stank for about 6 months. Either way, you're gonna have to get extensions.
no,
gonna have to.
no. What you gotta tell them is you gotta tell them to let the top grow in longer and just drape that shit over the side and let it get crazy underneath of the drapage.
They're gonna have to get extensions. But they got about 12 inches of length.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Chill,
All
bro.
right,
Like I'm
man.
talking about my son's hair. Hey, my nigga
Why
Jaffe.
don't y'all cut them
Hey, my nigga, no,
and then
nigga.
attach the halves
No.
to the
No.
side, and then everything will be even.
That shit low key makes sense. I'm not even gonna hold you though.
Say that again.
That shit.
You cut the long ones,
This
right?
nigga might
Cut
be
them in
on to
half,
something.
and then they reattach the long ones to where the short hair is at, and then they'll have 6-inch locks all over their
Look,
head.
even if it's your hair, it's still weave.
That's a fact.
No, it's not, bro.
Man,
Nah,
weave
I
used to
don't
be
believe
human
in that.
hair. If it's your hair, it's still weave, man.
So you
I
saying
don't make the rules.
if John wanted a full-headed locks right now,
Mhm.
he can grow his hair long enough on the sides to where he can cut his hair where he has it now and attach the cut part to the underneath and just have mid locks at this point.
Yeah.
I'm saying the shit's gonna look wild.
Super,
There's
super.
no way around this. It's gonna look wild.
Can I? So like,
Well, I actually know somebody who showed up with locks. A nigga got.
Chill out, G.
we
That
both do.
nigga had-
We both do.
No,
And we
Nah,
talked
this
about
you
nigga
not about to
we
actually.
talked about this nigga more than we
This
can on
nigga
this pod.
he had alopecia. Relax, G.
Nah, this nigga
No.
actually has alopecia. Like,
Relax,
Yeah.
G. We're not finna make
and
fun
this
of
is
you.
many years ago.
Your
He
dog
was
we
in his,
talked about.
He was in his adolescent stage. I say that.
Hey man.
So he was
look,
We're
impressionable.
not doing that.
Fresh
and the
Prince
young
don't tolerate
homie-
no alopecia talk, G. He
Your
gonna
dog,
still
your
off his
dog
knee.
we
I'm
talked about
I'ma
last
speak on it, bro. The
pod.
young,
Cut all his dreads off and added them back, nigga.
He
6
did
months
do
later.
that.
We're not gonna go
person-
with that.
this
He did
person
do
is a
that.
derivative of that person. So
That's also true. They are.
they're connected.
Oh,
But
no.
basically, the homie,
John,
he
you
got
dropped your
alopecia
head.
like John
Yeah,
said.
man.
Dropped his head, G.
You lost your head. Speaking
did, man.
speaking of like, because I was gonna say pause.
Y'all
but-
just
but-
not gonna let me tell this.
No, fuck that shit, G. I was
Anyway,
gonna talk.
alopecia had no hair, no
He just gonna
eyebrows,
tell it
nothing.
anyway, G.
One day, and then
Hey
the
man,
next
let
day,
him
the
be,
nigga
G.
had
That was a
full
child,
head.
man.
He was not. He was a teenager, bro.
I'm not talking about no shorties with alopecia, G. That's what we're not for to do, G.
Nigga's a grown man today, bro, with a family and shit. But
Now
at
go
the
ahead,
time, the
man.
shit
Nate,
was
go ahead and say
hilarious.
what you was gonna say, G. Because I'm not. We gotta ignore Al. G.
No, I mean, no, I'm not gonna ignore Al, but I'm just gonna say, like, I was gonna pause myself for telling you that you had a good head going, but Jaffe ain't for that shit no more, man.
Man, it's just cigar talk, man.
No. Jaffe
No.
ain't for that pause talk no more, man.
I'm done.
Nah,
G.
He
Pause,
done.
G.
So,
He
okay.
done. He done.
So let me
bro.
ask this question, Jaffe. Would you eat a Goreo? And if you did, would you say pause?
So, nigga, the Oreos
What's a
is
Goreo?
Hold on. What's a Goreo?
All right. Hey, so real shit, man. fuck all y'all. I'm done with you niggas feeling like y'all can pause me about any or everything, bro. Like at this point, I feel like I can't even have conversations in real life. Like today, we was sitting around chatting, and then out of nowhere, Gorios was thrown on me. Y'all familiar with the Gorios?
What's a Goreo?
I never heard this term.
Bro,
So
That's how
Goreo
you
is a
spell
gay. It's a gay Oreo. You spell it G and then Oreo.
Hey,
All
what,
right.
what y'all niggas not finna do is disrespect America's favorite
No,
cookie.
man.
Oreo?
No.
Oreo.
Hey. What y'all niggas not finna do is disrespect America's favorite cookie. You know what I'm
so
saying?
I'm gonna tell y'all this. So that's why I preface it with y'all not gonna be able to pause me, G, because Oreos have had a hold on your boy's soul for about 2 months, G, since Alex
months?
introduced me. No. I had gave him up, G. I was fucking with the lemon. I was fucking with the lemons and the white Oreos. What's the white Oreos called, G?
Hey, them
Just-
bitches is
just
good. I don't know
like-
what they
Vanilla
call golden.
joints.
Just
Golden
like a
Oreo.
nigga.
The golden Oreos.
Just like a nigga. I always try to find
Hey,
I went away. I went away
Hey.
from home
Hey.
base for a little bit.
Hey.
I strayed, G. I strayed. But my nigga Alex had told me about the most Oreo, right?
Yeah, bro.
This shit has, nigga. I'm buying these bitches in bulk, G. I'm buying them packing 2 packs at a time.
I still haven't located them bitches, G.
I'm having them bitches. DoorDash got them. If you just go on DoorDash, they'll DoorDash them to your front door, G.
hey, wait a minute. Is that not the fattest thing ever to have a bag of Oreos DoorDash to your house?
Nigga, something. Hey,
It's
I
low-key.
can tell you what I'm never
Yeah.
gonna have delivered to my house is this
Goreo.
batch of Gorios, motherfucker.
Oreos,
Like,
Are you saying
Why we calling them
Gorios
Gorios,
or
though? Why we adding a
Gorios?
G?
We're calling them
It-
Oreos. So in
either way, it
observation,
sounds
if Chief Keef ate Oreos, he would call them Glorios. G, you know what I'm saying?
G.
no
But
L. There's no L in there. It's just a G.
it's just Goreo. It's just G
You
and Oreos.
you
G.
talking about the
G Oreos.
Takashi 6ix9ine Oreos, G?
Yeah,
The
you
gay
can go
Oreos,
there.
G.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw those.
yeah.
Bro.
And
I
Why they
saw
gay?
recognition.
So
in
now my
recognition-
Oreos got to be gender neutral. G, like they got to be gender specific.
So,
Man.
so this is my thing. Well, first off, let's explain. If you haven't seen them in recognition of Pride Month, Oreos got the rainbow colored filling
Yeah,
in a special Pride
Yeah.
Month pack of Oreos.
it's a fact.
All right, thus
Okay.
the Gorios. Right now, the question I have is: does the extra dye make the Gorios a little sweeter?
Them bitches. They definitely gonna be hella sweet, G.
Actually can't call it Gorios because for Halloween they actually have a Goreo with like monster shit going on.
As
Man, we
the
don't just
official
talk about no Halloween
spokesperson
Oreos, man.
for America's favorite cookie, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm gonna go ahead and say this.
Go ahead, talk your shit. You on the Bisco ass nigga. Come on, talk your shit, G.
Oreo been out here, you know what I'm saying, flooding the market with flavored Oreos for years. You know what I'm saying? And they only doing that out here to try to satiate these other niggas, G. The OG connoisseurs of America's favorite cookie, we never strayed. You know what I'm saying? Like at worst, we went mega stuff or lemon like Jaffe did too. But
Lemon Oreos are phenomenal. For
but
the record.
we
Fucking
stayed,
phenomenal cookie.
we stayed locked in to the OG Oreo.
I'm gonna call Cap on Nate though, G.
Hey, chill,
Nate.
chill, G.
Look, he don't want me. He don't want me both.
We got the single stuff, we got the double stuff, and some of us strayed to the mega stuff.
The mega stuff, G.
some of us strayed, but we knew right away that we was doing too much. So we came back to the double stuff, right? So then some of us strayed to the chocolate Oreos, and we realized
That's too far, G.
I almost
They-
divorced my wife because she brought a bag of chocolate Oreos in my
facts,
house.
as you should, but they not fucking with the OG double stuff. So then they start experimenting. They got the s'mores Oreos, the
Trash.
red velvet Oreos,
Trash.
birthday,
Yeah.
the birthday cake,
Trash.
all these bullshit Oreos. You know what I'm saying? That we don't need. We didn't ask for that shit, but it's Nick.
It's a community out there that asks for the Goreo though, G.
Can I
Is
get
it
on?
though?
Can I get on my toxic shit real quick, man?
I feel like these companies are pandering.
Yeah, it's not even pandering. What's more inclusive than a cookie? Everybody eat fucking cookies, right? What?
Everybody eat a cookie.
Man, it's fat people in all walks of life, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just it seems ridiculous.
All
I see
gender
Ford got in on
appropriation.
it too. Ford got a Rainbow.
They got a Ford F1. Oh, I thought you were gonna say they had an F-150 cookie, G, like a Oreo F-150.
I would
Nah,
definitely
Ford
buy
got
that
a
breakfast
Rainbow
cookie.
It's a
Hey,
monster
point me
cookie,
in
my
the
nigga.
direction of the truck cookie, man. I want one of those.
G.
F-150
But
cookie.
like,
I'm calling cap on Nate though, G, because for the longest time, I would always go get my haircut at Nate crib. This one, y'all got the bigger crib, G, over at Sycamore.
uh-huh.
Nate never had Oreos in there, G. He always had the
Crazy.
double brownie
Crazy.
chocolate cookies from Jewel, G.
Oh,
Never
had
an
to-
Oreo, G.
you had to sandwich around?
D.
Nigga had
They
a
was not
knockoff
sandwich
brownie.
cookies, G.
Hey,
They was not sandwich
Oh.
cookies. They used to be ciphering them
I-
hoes off.
I
He would
am
give you
not-
one of them hoes,
I
G.
am not gonna let.
But he would have them by 2 or 3
bags.
bags.
Nigga, not
G.
gonna defame my character right here. We had those in addition to the Oreos, nigga.
Oh,
Like,
so
did
you
you
gonna
have a
bring the
jar full of
Oreos up
Oreos?
again?
Don't you
G.
ever.
Did you have a jar full of Oreos, G?
G, I don't keep my Oreos in a jar. I keep my Oreos under lock and key. I'm the
On the
only one that
lock
got.
and key?
I'm the only one that got access to my Oreos, G. And my sons touch my
Is
Oreos.
Oreo the OG cookie though?
Is it not?
I'm asking. Is there a better cookie out there than an Oreo?
Fucking no. Hey, look.
I mean,
Hold on.
are you talking about prepackaged cookie or
John,
just cookie in
prepackaged
general?
cookie.
John, chill. Listen. Oreo needs the assistance of fucking milk. Period. You know what I'm saying? So I
False.
can't say that. I will never dry stroke an Oreo in my life. If you ever see me with an Oreo with that
I
doesn't
dry
have
stroke
milk,
Oreos
Yeah, I was
daily,
gonna say.
nigga.
because y'all
Yeah.
niggas is fucking serial killers.
I'm gonna tell you this, G.
Grab
I'm gonna tell you
2 or 3
this.
on the way past the pantry. grab a
Sometimes,
couple Oreos.
sometimes I scrape the filling off them hoes, G,
So
because
y'all-
it'd be
y'all-
too much of that
So
shit,
y'all
G.
Just
never
eating the cookie?
elevate. Y'all
Just the
never
cookie,
elevate.
G. The cookie's phenomenal.
Y'all never elevate.
I don't know about that. That's a little bit much.
The cookie's phenomenal.
Y'all
I've
never-
even bought the Oreo cereal before,
Y'all,
nigga.
no.
Hey, Oreo O's are lightweight
See,
deep.
Oreos.
And that's the problem with you niggas. See, like all us OG Oreo connoisseurs, motherfuckers think just because I like Oreos that I like Oreos in every capacity. I don't want Oreo flavor ice cream, bitch. I don't want
Nigga,
Oreo.
but you like
crazy as hell.
No,
you
nigga.
don't get a Oreo shake,
No, nigga.
a Oreo
Oreo
McFlurry.
I like
Oreo
Oreos.
McFlurry,
I like
Oreo
Oreos
Blizzard.
one motherfucking way, and that's smothered in milk. G, you know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
that shit get nasty
Shut
as
the
hell
fuck
after as soon as you put the cookie in there, G. Soon as you put that weak ass cookie in there,
No,
that
nigga.
bitch is gonna be what
No.
what happens with the frosting in the
it-
cookie, G? It don't soften.
It
It
changes.
just be in the milk,
Exactly. It changes the consistency
G.
of the
Disgusting.
cookie. You know what I'm saying?
I bet you eat Oreo cakesters, don't
Nate
you?
is
Never,
eating mud,
never.
G.
See, like, and that's
Nate
what I'm
is
talking
eating
about.
mud pie.
That's what I'm
Hey,
talking about.
hey,
This is exactly what I'm talking
I ain't
about.
gonna hold you. One time I heated up a cakester in the microwave for 10 seconds. That bitch was
It's
delectable.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
A cake
G.
stir.
I would never see like OG niggas would never even cop a cakester. It's not.
I didn't buy it,
no,
man.
nigga, like
but
I
I
don't
didn't
need,
mind,
and that's what we talking about. We don't need the extra shit. We don't need the extra shit, G. Like, cause like real talk, if I'm eating a pack of Glorios and I'm not Thor banging them bitches, you wouldn't even know it's a pack of Glorios. It
yes,
like I'm
you
eating-
would, G.
it-
The color of your milk would be disgusting.
It look like I'm eating a red Oreo at
Your
No,
tongue
it ain't
would be
just
yellow,
red. It's a
G.
bunch of colors,
green.
man.
I imagine that the Gorios change the color of your tongue, G. Like
Oh
You
man.
be- you be out here with a green and yellow tongue, G. The Gorios have got to be stopped, G. I feel like it's a cloud of smoke's duty to stop Gorios from seeing the light of day, G.
Like all bullshit aside, though,
They
like
had them last year too, though.
the dye,
You know
like
what I'm saying?
red dye, makes icing disgusting. Like if your shorty gets some cupcakes and it's red, it's fucking gross.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
that
how
shit
they
gonna be on
gonna.
your hand for days.
on your
Yeah,
hand.
I
nigga.
just don't know.
That shit be in
Execution
your
is questionable.
stool for days, G. Like you be wondering why you be wondering why your
All
dookie
kind of shit.
orange, G. Like it's because of that red dye in that bitch, G. Like don't shake your head like you ain't never looked at your stool after eating some birthday cake and was wondering why.
Not
No, I
checking my
haven't. I can
stool,
literally
G.
say
I
I've
have.
never done that.
I've had
Not
that
looking
with
at
like
my-
some
It's-
blue
so
and
it's-
purple.
It's one real nigga on the
Nigga.
pod. Then come on, Al. Come
Nigga.
on.
Gee, y'all niggas
I've
is
had,
checking
like, some
y'all
purple
stool. What the fuck is
cupcakes
y'all
and
want looking for prostate
Yeah, bro,
cancer or
it'd be
some
like
shit, nigga?
the water be like purple around your shit
Yes.
because of the dyes and the cupcakes,
Yes.
bro.
This
You
is wild. You shouldn't eat those cupcakes. First off,
Right.
second off, y'all shouldn't be turning
Y'all
around
shit
looking at
got
that.
auras, nigga. Like,
No. You know what this is,
Alex,
y'all?
I'm
These
with you,
niggas
G.
not.
Like these niggas ain't
Yeah,
real.
You know what y'all
they
are?
friendly.
You know what y'all are? Y'all are
Y'all
cereal.
be eating whipped cream icing, oh don't y'all?
Y'all are cereal non-courtesy
buttercream, G. You
flushers.
got to get that
Y'all don't
buttercream,
courtesy
G.
flush.
We talking about butter.
Courtesy fresh.
I heard two things that fucked me up.
Nigga, I'm at home, bro. That shit finna be there till I'm
Whipped cream
done.
icing and courtesy flushing, nigga.
No,
Both
nigga,
are
buttercream, G.
Buttercream
Wait a
is
minute.
the only way.
That's
But-
what I said. Nobody said whipped cream.
I wish the fuck I would courtesy flush in my own crib, G. Like you got me.
So
fucked
here's
up.
the thing about
what?
this, G.
A
here's the
courtesy flush
thing.
in my crib, nigga.
So you want to stew in your own shit?
Nigga, it's under the water.
We're
The shit don't
okay.
stink.
We're definitely not.
Hey.
We're definitely not starting the pod talking about shit.
I'm just saying, I'm not courtesy flushing in my own crib, G. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
listen,
the courtesy flush
this
is
is a
needed.
good. This is a good topic because you can. There's literally scientific proof and evidence that you could, analyze your health based on your stool.
This is facts.
So I never get up without looking at my stool. Like that's just what I do. That's a part of my bowel movement.
Yo, Al new
I'm
name
checking
is the
to
Dookie
see-
Doctor.
Dookie doctor, nigga.
He's the
Y'all
Dookie
niggas
Doctor,
crazy,
G.
bro. If y'all ain't checking y'all the
Get off
stool to
my
see
mans,
what's
G.
going on, y'all tripping, bro.
Get off my
Hey,
No,
mans.
Al.
man.
But
Y'all
See,
niggas
it's
just flush and go. I don't have no idea
You know
what
what
just
it is?
came out your
Al's
body.
still not used to being. He's not used to being fat. G. Look, nightmare scenario is you stop up a toilet and you're not at home base. All right, so courtesy flush is just a good habit to have.
So
Nigga,
I
critters
just
everywhere, bro.
Are
since
y'all
y'all
ready?
got us here, G. Since y'all got us here, G. I just got to ask y'all a question, G.
What's
You
up?
want to know? And I know my nigga Al is in real estate, G. So this may be something that hit home for him.
Mhm.
G. The worst build in any house is the fucking guest restroom off the fucking kitchen, bro. Whoever thought of that shit is
Yeah.
the worst motherfucker ever, bro. Like
Yeah.
I go to people's houses and I'm just like, I don't do it outside anyway, but I would never do no shit like that in they fucking, like, you got to come out and walk through their
Right off
kitchen.
the kitchen, bro. You
No, fuck
Hey,
no.
Smells clashing
Hey,
with
guys,
whatever came
guys.
out somebody's body.
Guys, G, we talking about shit right now, G. Like let's really
We talking our shit. We literally
Let's-
talking our
let's-
shit, G.
let's really then
Y'all,
get back
don't
to the
reel us
Gorios,
in, G, because G, you got us on the Gorios, G, and you got us on this shit talk.
Oh, no.
too.
On the
Like,
color
hey,
shit
chill.
too. That's all you, CLB.
See, I am super proud of.
I said
of-
niggas' tongues will turn colors. You niggas start talking about shit.
What?
Shitty boys.
That was CLB. I will
All,
not.
all y'all had to
I
do was just agree.
contributed.
All y'all didn't have to try to deviate, try to act like
No
y'all got
way I'm
cool
gonna
poop.
agree to something. That's
y'all
wild.
niggas poop ain't that cool to not
Hey
turn colors in
John,
the
before
water.
we get into any more shit, man, get us to the show, man.
Thank you.
Check the stats, we winning. When we lost, we replenished. Started last, but we finished. I just need my percentage. Outer space is the limits. Lie when they said the sky. My life like Claude, take a risk. Need my piece of the pie. Check the stats, we winning. When we lost, we replenished. Started last, but we finished. I just need my percentage. Outer space is the limits. Lie when they said the sky. My life like Claude, take a risk. Need my piece of the pie.
Check the stats, we winning. Going hard since the beginning. I took off a minute, but now I'm back in it. Like work when your vacation finished. I clean up my image, I'm grinning, cause I ain't in debt no more. I was down, now I'm up like my credit score. Got a daughter, I gotta do better for. Let's get paid off these punchlines and metaphors. Taking the steps to be wealthy. Pop Global LLC. Went from a worker to owner. The system thought I'd be a goner. Was young with the warrants. I'm trying to get paid off for touring.
Please.
What's up, everybody? You are now tuned into a Cloud of Smoke, the podcast where we talk our shit, literally. I'm one of your hosts, the big homie John, and we gonna toss it to the young Cornell West, man. Go ahead, man.
What up? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy. Freaky. We got Jafito. Jafito, holla at him.
Hey man, I'm sugar free, cookie free. I'm just here tonight. You know what I'm saying? Shit free. So CLB, holla at the folks, man.
I wasn't done talking about Oreos, but you know what I'm saying? Since y'all just got us into this motherfucker,
Yeah,
we go
we're
ahead and
done
start
with
the show.
Oreos. We done with
You know what I'm saying?
Oreos.
Hey, I could go a whole pod talking about America's favorite cookie, but instead we're gonna talk about what you got, John.
So look, we lost a legendary football player, legendary civil rights activist, Jim Brown.
Actor?
I think
America's favorite running back.
activist.
No, I'm saying he's
I
an
guess
actor
you know
too.
he was an actor too. I saw Mars Attack. I can't
The
call him
fuck was that
legendary.
nigga?
He's an actor.
18 or
No,
some shit?
not
G?
Mars Attack. What was that movie he was in with dude from Jamie Foxx show, G? Where he
Yeah,
was the
see,
gangster.
if you don't remember the title, then
No, G.
He was definitely in
You know what I'm talking about. He like,
Original Gangsters.
Original Gangsters.
Original
Yeah.
Gangsters, nigga.
He was definitely in fucking what was the other one with Jamie Foxx? The football. Any Given Sunday, G.
Yeah,
He
but
was
I mean,
sharp linebacker coach, G.
yeah,
And he
Yeah,
had
that's
some
facts.
blaxploitation films back in the 70s.
Yeah,
and
but
shit,
he
too.
was-
Who didn't know that? I don't blame him for that.
he was
He got a
definitely an
decent
actor.
little,
in
Jim
Original
Brown wasn't.
Gangsters.
It wasn't black exploitation, G. He was just being himself.
That was just life.
Per John. John's gonna enlighten us on this nigga,
that,
G.
that was a documentary. But go ahead, John.
Okay, so he dies, you know what I'm saying? And you of course you had the sports networks and things like that highlight all of his great accomplishments on the field. And you had, you know, people talk about CNN was talking about his political activism or whatever. Twitter was talking about his menacing. He is a serial woman abuser. He's been accused of beating women, I think 6-7 times. He even threw a bitch off the balcony. All right.
Why
He's
she
also
gotta be
been-
all that?
She did something to get thrown off a balcony, but so he was accused of rape multiple times. And so my question to the group
Feels
is
like a monster.
Hey, do I gotta go cite all these sources, G, or can I find these one place?
he's been charged with multiple crimes. He's been convicted of the lesser crimes. He's pled out. He's had community service. He even beat up a cop when he showed up to intervene when he was, you know, beating up a woman. And so he had to do a couple of days in jail for that. But is it okay to talk about someone's transgressions?
G, right now you compare you got this nigga out here like OJ Simpson, G. Like,
Sound like he just got CTE before.
Is
we
it
knew
okay to
CTE,
talk
bro.
about these things?
so you
when
telling me
someone
Jim
dies.
Brown was a cross between OJ Simpson and Deshaun Watson?
I'm gonna say yes, loosely, because like that's my first thought, and the reason why that's my first thought is because when somebody dies, when somebody passes away, people try to remember who that person was as a whole. So that's gonna come with the good.
Can
and
I
the
call
bad.
Cap?
You can, but it's
Are you
it's-
saying
it's-
are you
it's
saying
true?
for
Like if
in
it's a
general or
loved
just
one,
famous people?
No. If it's a loved one, I'm only gonna think of you in the brightest of lights.
Right.
But if you just a motherfucker that died who I don't have any kind of skin in the game with,
Damn, that nigga got out of here and didn't pay me my money back.
I'm
Shit.
gonna look at the whole picture of who you are and who you were in your
I should have knew that nigga was
Your
gonna get
life.
out of here before he paid me back, man. Fuck.
again, like if Jim Brown family probably not gonna want to hear that shit, but none of us have any emotional ties to this nigga, so like we can look at his life as a whole and bring it up. Am I
Here's what
wrong?
I'll say. I think if you're gonna talk about it after he's dead, you should have brought it up while he was alive.
Yeah.
So he has to face it and be accountable for what he did. I think
Yeah.
Clearly he stood in front of all that shit. That nigga was Teflon.
What
Like,
Teflon? He
I
definitely
just feel
took
like
some of
for
those
you
charges.
to bring it up after he died.
That nigga didn't fucking get
To me,
booked.
that's
They
low
didn't book
play.
him, Dano.
He did. He went to jail
Right.
for 6 months later in his life because he was given 400 hours of community service for one of his transgressions.
So
And
he was
he
held
refused-
accountable for some of this.
He
shit.
refused to do the community service, so they had to
Real
lock him
nigga
up.
activity.
I'm curious, John. Why are you asking if it's okay? You think it's not?
Well, because it was definitely a major
Seems
topic
distasteful.
over the weekend. Yeah, it does seem a little distasteful, right? Same token, though, I do recognize that a lot of the people talking about it they don't know Jim Brown, the football player. And Jim Brown, the political activist, was before their time. So a lot of people are hearing about this guy, and they're looking him up, and these are the things that are popping up on the Google searches. And that's what's kind of driving the conversation of, hey, like, yeah, he might have been good in some ways, but in some other ways, you know.
I want to say this though, like in response
He's a human.
to my response though, like is dirtbag niggas die too, right? And them niggas get eulogies just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So like niggas who dirtbags, they gonna have some little shining moments, but a lot of that dirtbag shit gonna follow too. So you again, if I'm not close to that person, if you was a dirtbag and I observed you doing dirtbag shit, I'm gonna speak on you doing dirtbag. Is that
Here's what I
wrong?
say.
Are you asking
Nah.
if that's wrong for us to do that, or is it wrong to do it? Period.
I'm
I
just
think it's
asking,
wrong
is
for
it
the
appropriate
journalists.
to have the conversation? You okay? Go
I
ahead.
think the journalists, if you have an outlet to call this man out while he's alive, so to wait until he dead is kind of cowardly, and that's kind of, I don't know, that's just a foul move. Like if you don't agree with Jim Brown and his lifestyle, call his ass out,
how
hold
do
him
you report
accountable.
that?
So-
while he's
Is,
so
alive.
is people
I'ma
living
bring
up a
it-
lifestyle?
Is what?
It was his. It was his. I'm gonna bring this shit full circle, right? Because like it's so, you know, rest is so. Let's bring it full circle, like with Kobe, right? When Kobe passed, it was a shock, right? And
Yes.
they ran Kobe for
Mhm.
a week straight, nonstop. No other sports story mattered, right?
Uh-huh.
And everybody came out with their heartfelt tributes. They wanted to remember Kobe in the greatest of lights. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying?
Yeah.
But
Right.
as a journalist, you would be remiss to. And I was it Gail King? I
Gayle
think
King.
Gail
Was
King,
Gayle King,
got
yeah.
a lot of fucking slack behind it. But you would be
Snoop
remiss.
specifically. Yeah.
You would
Funky
be
dog
remiss.
head. But go ahead.
Funky dog here, but but you would be remiss to speak on this man's like the totality of his life and not talk about the blemish that happened. It was never proven, but like as a journalist, that's what you're there to do. Like you have
Exactly.
you have to speak on it all, or you're not as valid as you should be. Because
Why
we can
wait
sit
till
up
they're
here.
dead?
Well, no, they reported on Kobe's transgressions
Yeah.
when he was alive. That don't mean that he didn't have a redeeming arc, because he did redeem himself over that time. But when you're talking about the totality of his life, there were ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and to not talk about the transgression in there, whether it was proven to be true or false, you know what I'm saying? It was a major blip in his lifetime that needed to be touched on. Now,
Right.
my thing is, I don't think you touch on it before the dirt's been put on top of the casket. Like that's where it becomes distasteful, when like they die and you like, well, he was a dirtbag and he was a scum. Like that's when it's like, all right, I might slap you in your motherfucking mouth behind some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's somebody like Nate was saying earlier, that you have skin in the game. We all have maybe lost somebody, maybe not directly close to us, but a friend or somebody. And then you be around people and you hear them say some defamed shit about them, right?
Mhm.
It'll boil you up. Like, hey fam, like nigga, my nigga ain't even in the dirt yet, and you already throw dirt on his name. Like, you know, like so. I guess there should be a time frame before you get to crossing that fucking like that part of it. But all of it eventually needs to get spoken on, especially when you're a public figure like a Jim Brown, like a Kobe Bryant, or any other celebrity. I don't think celebrities should be immune to, you know, their transgressions in life. Like we're all human, like Nate said.
Can I
And-
rebut that?
Go ahead.
Hold on. I just want to say something real quick, John. For Kobe, for example, and Gayle King, right? She waited till the man died to speak up. She could have said something when he was about to retire, when everybody was paying attention to him at that time, too. I feel like if you're going to call somebody out on their shit, do it before they did. Like, to me, you don't have to face that person. It's kind of a coward move. Like,
It
that
is.
person's not going to come back from the grave and try to sit down one-on-one with you or come back at you and say, hey, you was out of line for this. You just gonna have to hear from a bunch of fans, basically, or people around that don't really matter. So for you to do this shit after the person died, that's low class in my opinion.
I don't know.
If
I don't
you
know.
really
I
that,
do
if
wanna
you
s-
that
I-
adamant about your stance on their transgressions, each one of these people, whether it's Jim Brown, Kobe, whoever, Michael Jordan, whenever he passed, I'm sure there's gonna be some dirt about him.
Don't you put
They've
that
had
shit on
plenty
Mike?
They've had plenty of high times where people are looking for journalists to talk about this person for you to drum up whatever beef you got with them and bring it to the forefront, because that's what you're trying to do, is shine a light on some shit.
So I'm going to say this about the Kobe situation without going too deep into that. I've always felt like, why did it have to be Gayle? Why did it have to be a black woman to bring up Kobe's transgressions, right? Because that's all of the white journalists who covered Kobe, none of them spoke on it.
Can I ask you why it matters that she was a black woman, though?
Because a lot of times when you see black people torn down in this fashion, it's from other black people in the media
optics
sense,
is
right?
trash.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Because if all these people, we had hundreds of journalists talk about Kobe, only one that talked about that incident was a black woman, right?
So I know the conversation we having is not based around Gayle and Kobe. I kind of brought us here But I'm gonna put it like this: these people are journalists. This is their job and their career. They do report to somebody. And Gail being the lead anchor on what is that, CBS Good Morning America or some shit she's
Some shit
on.
like that, yeah.
Like, I'm sure shit just hits her desk and she has to speak on it. We already know that just like Fox News, the Murdochs, everybody has an agenda, whether it's to build a motherfucker up like Trump or tear a motherfucker down like whoever, right? So they're just doing their job. And Alex, to your point, I would say that, and while people are here, I think there are journalists that are positioning themselves like, hey, come on to my show. Let's talk about it. Let's have that conversation, right? But if it's some shit that's not gonna make me look good in a fucking certain light, I'm gonna say fuck you. Every time you fucking reach out to me and say, let's have this. This ain't Jim Rome is burning no more. Moms just don't voluntarily get up there to cry on TV and talk
Face
about
the
their
heat,
transgressions. Nobody's looking to face the heat. They want to be seen in the best light. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's pussy when you're reporting on what you have to report on as a whole. I think if that was her only focus, or if like bringing it back to Jim Brown, if we didn't say, like John prefaced, and he came into the conversation with, we lost a Hall of Fame football player, civil rights activist, actor. He gave him all his accolades with that shit. You know what I'm saying? But he would be remiss to say, like, this motherfucker, like, he would be remiss if he didn't address the fact that that nigga was a scumbag for parts of his life. You know what I'm saying?
And I also want to say this. This is kind of messed up, but a lot of times, because people are not currently active in their stardom, right? Jim Brown's death is what made him a relevant news topic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So nobody
Nothing
was
else.
talking about Jim Brown at all. And unfortunately, what we see, we talk about giving people their flowers when they're alive, right? Because what happens is no one talks about you, kind of fade into obscurity, and then all of a sudden you become relevant in death.
Boy, the NFL and the NBA, them niggas is the king of rolling them old black niggas out there. They did that shit to Bill Russell for 12 years. They did that shit to Jim Brown. Jim Brown was at every kickoff of the league. He was at every fucking Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, anything, where it was a light.
I just want to say, man, like, death doesn't alleviate you from, the life that you live. Like, we look at death as like this glorious transition from the earth realm into what's next. And we only want to look back at, bruh, like, just to kind of tailor the conversation back to what we talked about last week when we talked about, Chris Brown, right? Like, just to kind of give you some context. Part of his story is
Rihanna.
is the bullshit. Like, if we're gonna be honest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when his time on earth is over with, you'll be hard pressed to be able to talk about his story and not talk about that at all. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't
Michael
mean
Jackson.
that's another one. Like,
Michael
that doesn't
Jackson.
mean that you're necessarily shitting on them, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's in bad taste, but it's part of their story. It's part of the aura of who these superstar people are that we're talking about. This motherfucker like this, G.
His ADHD kicked in.
No, but it's part of the aura. It's part of their story. It's part of who they are. And
So just based on what you're saying there, it's not wrong to speak on people's transgressions and past. That, because I think that was
as a
John's
journalist,
question.
no. As a journalist, no.
As a regular cat, as a real one.
If you're a regular cat with no ties to him, no. But like, if Jim Brown was John's homie, I probably would hold my tongue a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm
So you be talking shit about niggas behind their back, huh?
you know what I mean?
You
Like,
one of them niggas, huh?
if that's the case, I don't give a fuck about dude like as anybody other
Not
than
as
a football player.
Yeah.
Real talk. You know what I'm saying? So like, what that nigga eat don't make me shit. I don't give a fuck about what he had going on in his personal life. I'm not gonna hold my tongue because of, oh man, Jim Brown's a legend. Man, if he was a dirtbag and I witnessed him being a dirtbag, I think it's okay for me to be like, yo, that nigga was a phenomenal football player, but he was a dirtball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and everybody that listens to the pod regularly know
R.
we
Kelly
good
is a
at
phenomenal singer,
calling
but he was a
dirtbags out,
dirtbag.
G.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Man, hold on.
What's
man.
up? What's up?
J-
Michael
you-
Jackson
struck
is,
it- you-
is,
Hey,
the
hey,
best
Michael
performer of
Jackson
all time,
isn't-
Not too much on Rob.
But
Not too
somebody
much on Rob.
alleged him of being a dirtbag. I'm the
I
biggest.
mean, look at
Michael Jackson fan
Cosby
you know.
gonna probably end up in the dirt soon.
Bill,
That's
I
another
just was
Yeah.
thinking Bill Cosby. That
When the
nigga done
Cosby
raised
pack
half
goes
of
in,
y'all
and-
daddies,
And
nigga.
can you tell Bill Cosby's story without talking about the allegations?
No,
You
but
can't
he's
tell that
had to
story.
face that shit for years now, real time. It ain't like nobody was talking about it.
And
And
Bill
then,
Cosby
he
Jim-
did.
Jim Brown
102
faced-
years
No,
old.
Bill Cosby was a piece of shit. Like, I
But
feel
Bill
like that's,
Cosby is
faced the stuff real
102
time,
years
too.
old. If Bill Cosby was to pass away tomorrow, they're going to talk about his transgressions, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
They probably a lead with his transgressions, if I'm being honest.
they would probably lead with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. I don't think it's in bad taste because you can't just randomly on the news they be like, oh yeah, but y'all know what? By the way, Jim Brown was a dickhead. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you
Al,
why.
sound like Jim Brown just as bad as Bill
Hey, Al,
Cosby.
to
Shit.
be
It
fair,
sound
man.
like it.
To be
I
fair,
haven't
Al,
heard a lot of shit John was talking about. But
to be fair, Al, Jim Brown didn't try to buy NBC. They had to smear Bill Cosby's name. He didn't try to buy
the
NBC.
Yeah,
smear
true.
campaign, bro.
Oh
Hey,
shit, man.
But real shit, man. Like that's a good point, man. I think we all have probably thought that in our quiet times. Like, damn, like I want to mourn for this person. I want to feel bad for this person, but this motherfucker wasn't shit as a person.
Gee.
You know what I'm
Gee.
saying? It's something that you really can't say out loud, but we've all thought it. And I think, you know what I'm saying? I guess it's just in poor taste to say it out loud. But
I saw that
we
shit.
all think it.
I saw that shit when King Von passed, right? I guess this is one of those things that may be closer to us than we can talk
come
about.
on.
When King Von passed away, there was a lot of people that was just shitting on dude. Oh, dude was a fucking serial killer, murdering ass, bitch ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Glad he's off the map. And there's a lot of people, oh man, like, no, nigga, that's Von, man. He was young, he was this. Do we just forget about who motherfuckers were as a whole when they pass away? No,
Right.
we can't do that shit. You have to look at somebody's whole life. And again, the problem with what John asked is assuming that everybody is gonna eulogize this person when they pass away.
Right.
That's not my job. I'm
I
not
also
close
want
to
to
you.
say Jim Brown, I think his last run in with the law was 99. So I mean it's possible that he changed his ways in old age. Maybe
Yeah,
he,
people have redemption arcs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They
you
had
know.
He did. Even
20,
if he did,
20 plus years.
even if he
Quarter
did,
That don't,
century
they
of
don't sweep the
being a-
bullshit. That shit don't sweep the
Exactly.
bullshit under the rug.
it's 89 years of storytelling you got to tell about somebody in that light, right? So like in 89 years, a lot of bullshit probably happened that's part of your story.
Damn, G, I want to make it to 89, G. That shit sounds
Dude,
crazy
Lord
to say
willing.
89 years. Lord willing, G.
Lord
I want to
willing.
make it to 89.
The fact
G.
that he lived long enough for people to kind of forget about him.
That's the crazy
Until
part.
he
Because a
died.
lot of these niggas who have these transgressions and have to walk with it, they usually don't make it that long, G. That's
true.
why it's probably swept. I didn't even know this shit until all the shit came out in his death. So I didn't even know this shit when he was living. Shit, I just thought the nigga was Malcolm X homie. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
heard about that shit tonight, G. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, and I will say social media brings that out, right? Because a lot of the stuff. Look, when he was menacing women in the 60s and 70s, that shit
everybody
really
was doing that shit at the Playboy Mansion, though. Like,
Well,
there's a lot
they-
of niggas that's like Jeffrey Epstein's fucking like that shit is another thing. Like how Jeffrey Epstein's island was, nigga. Nobody ever speak on how Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion was the same thing.
Yeah.
But
Same
some of the
exact
most
shit.
renowned fucking people in the world
Bro.
have been
Times was
fucking
different, bro.
through that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's
Fuck
crazy.
all them niggas, G. If you
Times
go,
was different.
if
man.
you go back far enough on my social media, like y'all niggas are all call me a dirt.
They don't do yours. Don't put yourself
Yeah,
out there,
what you
Jim.
talking about, G?
I'm just being
What you
real.
talking
You're
about?
not Jeffrey
No,
Epstein.
I'm
I
just
hope.
saying, like, all y'all Instagram or Facebook memories pop up, nigga, and all of y'all cringe when y'all see the shit y'all wrote 12 years ago. You know what
my
I'm saying?
shit, my shit look like John Moran shit.
That's
G.
what I'm talking about, G. Like if you go back further enough, you could paint me out to be the weirdest nigga of all time, and I would probably agree with you because I cringe the same way you motherfuckers would if I saw the same shit. So like, but it's all part of it. Now, if that shit was on public display, if I was a public figure, that would be part of my story.
Oh,
But
G, they'd have been bounced your ass, G. You'll
Got
be
my
on that
ass-
bounce
got
that
me-
ass network,
got
G.
me the fuck out of there, G. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think we had to deal with
Shit, if you go back a couple pods, nigga, they'll bounce Jaffe ass, nigga.
we had to deal with things being more I guess visible and open in our life. Right? You know, when Jim Brown was a superstar, a lot of stuff got swept under the rug. They didn't have social
Right.
media. They
It was
paid
just
people off.
whispers.
That was the culture
Yeah.
back then, right? If you were a powerful man, you were allowed to operate differently without the public scrutiny in his heyday. That's not the case now. A lot of people would be, a lot of that generation of men would be canceled if they had to grow up in the social media
Very
area.
much so.
Right. And that's why I said times are different. Not apologizing or
part.
being an apologist for what these creeps did, but literally to John's point, our access or visibility to it wasn't what it is today. So like if
And-
these dudes out here at the Playboy Mansion getting wild with underage teens and all kind of shit, that's like whispers in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Like today, a
Put it to
shorty
you
can
this
go
way.
on Instagram or Twitter and say,
Outside
"Hey,
of
this
that,
guy
though,
just assaulted me."
outside
Put
of
it to you
that,
this
though,
way.
go ahead.
Ja just got his shoe canceled. Nike, they don't know if they're gonna put his shit out, right? We
Yeah.
wouldn't be wearing Jordans if they had Twitter around in the early part of his
Not
career.
too much on Big Mike, G.
I'm just, and I was gonna say something in a similar fashion. Is less what was visible versus what was actually socially accepted at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Very much
'Cause, like,
true.
There's a lot
No,
of
I think
shit.
it's more.
It could be both, but I'm just saying, like, check. And I'm gonna tiptoe around how I'm gonna say this. You know what I'm saying? But like the way that some niggas used to treat they women back in the day, you wouldn't fly today. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, that's
we can
true.
talk about Bill
I'm
Cosby.
just saying, like, not necessarily. I'm just talking about like
Just slapping her ass and telling her, get your ass in that kitchen and cook something.
Nate,
that-
Nate, you're not wrong. You're not
I'm just
wrong,
saying,
G,
like,
but there was
go ahead.
never a time where you could throw a woman off of a balcony. They
Not
charged
saying
him with
that.
attempted
I'm
murder.
not saying
right?
that
So
at all.
they,
I'm
like-
just saying. I'm
Hey,
What
literally
did
just
that
talking-
woman do to him to force him to push her off the balcony?
I'm literally
we never
just
asked that
talking
question.
about what was visible, you know what I'm saying? Because again, we could talk about the social media all day and you know what we have access to, you know what I'm saying? Being literally in people's living rooms. But versus what was actually socially accepted. Not acceptable, but what was accepted as just this is how life is, right? A
Yeah.
lot of shit is different than what it is today. You know what I'm saying? You could have moved a lot. Them niggas that was out here wearing platform shoes, nigga, and bell bottoms,
Some
smacking
diabolical
bitches up.
niggas, yeah.
Some dumb niggas.
So
They
let
was them.
Let me ask this:
Doom, doom, doom.
if you in a party
Dumb
environment,
niggas?
right, and everybody popping mollies,
When everybody was coked up in the 70s, nigga.
the assumption is
Them niggas was
everybody
doing
trying to have a
Kalana
good
pins or
time,
some
right?
shit, G.
So
No.
if them niggas was doing Quaaludes in the 70s and 80s, that's what the Molly
Yeah.
was for that
I'm
generation.
saying.
The assumption is everybody trying to party. So to Bill's not to his defense, but his stance was, hey, everybody was doing this shit. We always having a good time. Now, during the Me Too movement, 30 years later, these women coming out saying,
You a
well, I guess
dirtbag creep.
I guess
nigga.
what he
Alex is
did was
saying is
inappropriate.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Like, it's different. The times are different a little bit.
Back then, he might not have been labeled a dirtbag. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He might have just been
Bill
like,
was
oh,
he was Puff Daddy.
he
He
was
was the
just
life of
another
the party.
nigga.
we not finna make this a Bill Cosby
Oh,
you know
Yeah.
I'm
vindication
talking about
pod.
I'm just
We
explaining
not on that.
how
Bill Cosby has 50 years of transgressions. Like the one that he went to jail for was from like 2008. Relax. All right. It wasn't that back then, G.
either
You gotta
Jim
relax,
Brown,
talking about
Jim Brown,
Peel. I'm
whoever.
talking about Bill Cosby.
Them niggas from the same era.
Remember how I
G.
just told you Jim Brown has 25 years almost of no transgressions? Bill ain't got that. All right. So we not finna do that. We not finna do what you try to do. Now look, I'm gonna ask y'all this question. So it also came out in Jim Brown's death that he is the godfather of another legendary individual, Megan Good, one of the finest women on earth, who is now intertwined. Yeah.
He's her godfather.
Yeah, Jim Brown is Megan Good's godfather. She actually had a statement, just saying how much of a positive impact he had on her life. You think there's any legs to the Twitter, I guess, narrative that's why she's with the current guy, Martin, I guess, abuse allegations, Johnny
Whoa.
Majors.
No, it's completely unrelated.
It's completely unrelated.
How's Twitter trying to tie it together? Like,
They basically saying that she's used to that kind of male role model. So that's why she's comfortable with Jonathan
Al
Majors.
just roll his ass
Yeah, it
like a San Francisco tree. Like that nigga just rolled the shit out of his ass.
bruh,
Uh,
I ain't going because who was the last nigga she was with? He ain't got
He
no
was like a
well,
pastor.
Yeah, she just like who she like.
And she didn't like what that nigga was bringing to the table. She needed a roughneck nigga on the end. I just need a roughneck nigga on the end.
Hey man, we need Johnny Majors, bro.
Hey,
Man,
maybe
fuck Johnny Majors. If Johnny
maybe-
Majors did what he did, fuck him. My stance
maybe-
always stands. If it's proven that nigga did what he did, fuck that nigga.
Hey,
Y'all in love with Damien, motherfucker. Get his ass out of here because he know how to play a good nigga. Like, fuck that nigga.
maybe, just maybe, Alex, Megan Good's love language is physical touch.
Physical touch.
Yo,
She's touchable.
what's to this love
Maybe.
language shit? Do y'all niggas know y'all love language?
Gee,
But
you
listen,
know what, man?
I've been talked to about love language multiple times in multiple relationships, but I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So I mean, I guess it's time to shine a light on that shit and just see if it makes sense, if it's something that we should even.
Hold on, I want to dig deep with you niggas. Pause, G. Jaffe, my bad, G. My bad. I want to dig deep with y'all, man. Like
Gen Z fatigue, G.
I'm
Done pausing.
gonna ask y'all. Y'all can say yes or no. Have you been able to identify what you think is your love language? John, you can go first.
First
You know
off,
my love
I don't even know what love language is. So can I get a refresher on this shit?
Hold on, like we don't need to go into any dictionary terms. Now I'm just saying, like, if somebody
Let me just read you the.
Hold
Hold on, Alice.
I don't
He
want
don't
that.
want that yet.
I don't want.
He don't want
I
that
just,
yet.
If your girl
My
was
shit
to
is
come-
physical
if
touch,
your girl
motherfucker.
was to come up to you and say, "Hey John, hey Alex, hey Jafito, hey Nate, what do you think your love language is?" Without having any definition of, like, what would you consider your love language?
My love language is chicken wings, Jordans, and things I'm not going to discuss on this pod.
I was
Alright,
gonna say slut me out.
and we can identify
Meat
that.
to meat.
Meet the
Ball
meat.
to
Hey
ball.
yo, meet the meat. Hey,
Hey,
Alex,
yo.
Alex, what's your shit, G?
All right, so mine is physical touch, and I'm gonna go ahead and give
Oh
y'all
we-
my
we-
God,
no,
nigga,
we
we
need
don't
the
want that
definition.
shit,
We don't
nigga.
No,
I'm
not
not,
yet, man.
I'm not. I'm gonna tell you what my wife's is because I know what hers is too.
Nigga,
Hers
we
is
talking
a
about
quality
us.
time. Right, but I'm married, so I'm telling you, I know what mine is, and I know what my wife's is.
Shout out Chauncey, man. This nigga, boy.
She's quality time. I'm physical touch.
Okay, Jafito, what's yours?
Nigga,
don't know what they are.
I'm gonna tell you. I real
If
shit.
somebody asked you and you had no idea what love language was, what would you consider your love language?
I need attention, G. I'm a big attention whore, G. Like before I could ever invest in that person, like I don't know what the love language would be, but like, G, I got to know that you fuck with me the same way you want me to fuck with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Once I know that, motherfucker, it's real easy for me, nigga. I don't like all this. Like, I don't know what the parameters of love language was, G. But on some real shit, nigga, just feed me and fuck me good. Like, pay a little attention to me, and when I'm ready to jump on the game with the homies or have me a cigar, just leave me the fuck alone, and I'm gonna give you whatever the fuck you need. But feed
like
me,
that.
fuck me good, and let me be an individual in the relationship, nigga. If you telling me what would make me happy and make me submissive in a relationship, those are the things that would get you whatever the fuck you want out of me.
And that's the question I'm asking. It's a two-sided question. I'm gonna answer for myself here in a second, but it's two different types of love language, right? It's, you know, how you give and how you receive, right? Love, right? Regardless of how of what your partner's love
Talking about
language
giving
is.
and receiving.
Yeah, so like regardless of what your partner's love language is and how they want to receive love, how I give love and how I want to receive love, you know what I'm saying? It's two parts of that love language. So
They're
like
intertwined.
how I give and how I receive love, you know what I'm saying, may differ from how my partner wants it and gives it as well. You see what I'm saying? So like it's more 4 dimensions as opposed to 2. Giving what your partner wants and getting what you
Receiving
want.
back what
You
you
see what I'm
want.
saying? So like,
Yeah.
it's like for me, a big part of my love language to give is like acts of service. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like if anything I can do for people, you know what I'm saying, show up in different ways, and you know what I'm saying, regardless of, you know, go outside of my way to do something, that's how I want to show up. You know what I'm saying? You know, make
Yeah.
sure that my family has a nice meal, and you know what I'm saying, make sure that they digging it and all that shit. Like that's for me. But how I guess I think I'm similar to Jaffe, and just like, you know, hey, I need a little bit of attention. You know, I like intention
Mhm.
and attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like me personally. But again, the way what I want may not be necessarily what I give, right? So identifying that, and we just got deep as fuck, you know what I'm saying, after just
And
talking
that's
about
cool.
shit for
That's
20
cool.
minutes.
Because some niggas out there may need it, G. Some of
Well,
our
I feel
listeners
like-
may need it.
I feel like we need to tell them what the love languages are. We don't need to get the definitions because they're very
Hold on,
self-explanatory.
it's definitions to this shit?
Yeah, there's like definitions, and then there's also like things you can do to show the.
Where did love languages come from? This shit was probably made by some cornball motherfucker. Did women make this up, or did some
I
cornball
don't
nigga that
fucking
wanted
know.
some attention make
A
this shit
woman
up?
definitely made this shit up.
I
Or
learned
either
about
that
it when
or-
I went through premarital counseling. They gave us a book that I didn't read.
And the book was written by who?
I don't
A
know.
square
It's
ass
probably
nigga
in-
named
it's
Gary
probably
Chapman.
it's probably in my nightstand.
Gary
But,
Chapman.
I'm gonna
Gary
tell y'all
Chapman.
the 5 love languages.
Like
It's
a-
words of
like a-
affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. Those are the 5 love languages. Very
I knocked
self-explanatory.
one out the park, G. I said
Yeah.
that shit verbatim, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Acts of
pretty much.
service.
Yeah.
That I think that's where I would be aligned, G. I'm not really big on all like I will
Alright.
gift like a motherfucker like to my partner, but I perform acts of service every fucking day. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You got
I
that
show
right.
up for my fucking family and my loved ones every fucking day. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I put them before me. So
So run
I
it
mean-
back. Run it back. So like we talked about how you want to receive love. How do you give love, G?
by
For
showing
me,
up.
How you give love?
I'm gonna
Alex?
say probably physical touch and acts of service. That's the other thing too. I did learn from the counselor. It
You
can, you
smacking
can have
ass
like,
count for physical touch.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely exactly what
is,
that
yeah.
is.
Hell yeah.
You can have like
The job is-
blended.
Because if
Like,
you
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 don't
have
do
like
that,
blended love languages.
slap your chick on her ass every day for 12 years and then stop,
Mm-hmm.
nigga.
What's wrong with
Yeah.
you?
I had
Yeah,
bitches
yeah.
running away from the ass slap for a little while, G. When you got a nice set of set of
Your-
Oreos on you, G. You know what I'm saying?
Your ass too aggressive, G. You know what I'm saying? Tone
Hey,
that
G.
down.
Hey, it's no grab ass in the Seal household. Okay.
No grab
All right.
ass and no grab
There's
ass.
no grab ass in G. I smacked my wife on the ass, and my 6-year-old, he smacked me on the ass, and I was like, "That's it, that's it." He observed something. He didn't know what he was observing.
And
Fucked it up.
6-year-olds don't never know what they're doing, G. I'm sure he slapped you with the overhand slap on the ass.
He
G.
did, G.
He didn't
Yeah,
even
like-
understand you got to
Nigga
come from
got all
underneath. G.
fingers, bro.
Did your
Oh,
shit
fingers.
did your shit jiggle a little bit and made you feel uncomfortable, G?
Why you got to be weird about this, G?
With his fingers.
He slapped him down with all
Hey.
4 of his fingers, G.
G, this nigga ass jiggled a little bit, so he felt uncomfortable, G.
G, he
like,
shut
you
down
gotta stop.
all the ass slapping.
This nigga Jaffe
Don
fade
is
to white
sacrificing
again.
slapping his wife's ass to never
Yeah,
get slapped
'cause
on the ass.
Hey, G, that's a traumatic experience, G. You think you get top of the field on some cheeks, and then your cheeks get
Damn,
slapped
G, your
by-
cheeks getting clapped, G.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I'm
was definitely
telling you,
gonna say
man.
clap, G.
You because you don't expect it, G. You know, I was in the kitchen with the wife, you know what I'm saying? We chilling, having a good time. And I didn't even think the shorty was paying attention, man.
The nigga, they always paying attention, G. He
it
had
yeah.
cut up all the grab ass, G. All the grab ass in his house was
Hold
wiped
on,
out.
was it Trey or Jackson?
was Trey when he was younger, man. He didn't know no better.
Kids don't know no better, G. As soon as he said it, I saw it in my mind. Like, yeah, G,
Yep.
he definitely hit him with the overhand pow right on the ass, G. Like, hey, look,
Started
nigga,
laughing,
Probably
G. Like
laughed
it was,
about it, yeah.
he did,
Yeah,
yeah. He started laughing.
thought the shit was cool as hell. I got you too, Daddy.
John just turned around immediately. Hey,
Hey, nigga, way too close, way too close.
I did though. I actually did exactly that too, man. Oh shit, man.
I hate getting my ass touched, G, by anybody, nigga. I
So-
don't like that shit at all.
You know I have a gripe with love languages, man. You know what I'm saying? Why we need Gary Chapman in a stupid ass book that I definitely didn't read during marriage counseling, premarital counseling, right?
Y'all
Why
niggas
we
went
need
to
him?
marriage counseling?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying? It was a requirement of the pastor, but I was gonna do it anyway. But why we need Gary Chapman to tell us
I'm
pay
getting one of
attention
you
to your
niggas
partner?
ordained, G. One of you
Yeah,
niggas
all
is
you-
getting ordained. They gonna marry me, G. I'm not going through no motherfucking.
Yeah, like that's my whole thing, right? The whole idea of love language is literally pay attention to what your partner is receptive to and do that shit. That's all it is. We don't need all this fucking titles and names and stupid ass books and shit, man.
You don't, but somebody else probably do.
No, they didn't. Before Gary Chapman wrote that book, Successful Marriages
Why you
Occurred.
keep saying that? Is that really the person who wrote it?
Yeah, I think that nigga name
It
is
is.
Gary Chapman.
I've looked them up.
Gary Chapman.
I think it's
I'll-
Chapman with a
Chat.
T. Oh, it is
It's-
Chapman?
It's with the P.
Okay, all right. Well, whatever, man. Fuck
There you
Gary
go.
Chapman. All right, you know what I'm saying?
This
Mm.
All right,
nigga
fuck
look
that
like
book,
a
man.
nerd, bro. He look like Bill
Yeah.
Gates.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a white
just
dude.
saying.
That's some shit that nigga needed for his fucking relationship to work.
Yeah,
And
G.
all these women have bought into this shit and they want to hold that standard to fucking us, bro. Like,
I
I
can't-
get it. I'm not gonna shit all the way on them, bro. But like, can't no book tell me how I want to be loved, G, and how to properly love my spouse, G. Like, I'm with John, G. Like, what happened to just like our parents didn't have that shit, bro. I get it.
Nope.
A lot of our parents stayed together out of necessity or because it was the right thing to do or it was beneficial. But nigga,
Nigga.
at the end of the day, I get like, no, I get a lot of relationships wasn't made
Nigga.
off of love.
Our
But hear
parents
me
was
out.
not the example, bro.
A
Yo,
lot of
hear
our
me
parents is
out.
off Quaalude smacking they bitch up, G.
Then
Like,
that's cool. And listen, that's not cool.
you
But
know
at
what
the
I
same
mean?
time, what I'm saying is, at some point, like I'm gonna tell you this, can we keep it all the way funky here on the Cloud of
Do
Smoke?
Always.
Nigga, at some point, nigga, you gotta understand when your wife ain't for that shit. Like I'm sure it was a plenty of times where your pops or your moms that came home and the motherfucker had that look on their face and they was like, "I'm gonna get this nigga fired. I'm gonna steer clear of this nigga, or let me get in here and let me get this nigga fed because he hangry." Like, motherfucker, what happened to paying attention to a motherfucker? Like, just fully understanding your fucking partner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in a lot of relationships, you know, like I'm not gonna say a lot of relationships, but I've been in relationships where motherfuckers have told me about the love language shit, but we've gotten further just by me being more attentive and me just fucking being less reactionary and just observing them. Like, I understand when she having a bad day and how I should maneuver. Nate, I'm sure all three of y'all
But
niggas
you-
married.
But that's why I asked the question to lead off with, right? Is do you identify how you receive love, right? In a way that you can identify it. I'm sure we all appreciate and acknowledge love many different ways, right? You know what I'm saying? But the things that really hit a nerve and the things that would affect you if it was missing, I think that's the part that they're talking about, right? Because like I can have all of the above, but if that one, if the attention part, the intention part is missing, right?
So which love language would be intentional?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just learned about that.
Because
shit.
that's my thing. Who streamlined it? Who said that these 5 things are the
Alex,
5?
run it back. Run it back again.
Okay, let me see. The 5 love languages. So you got acts of service.
Word.
That would be intentional. Physical touch, words of affirmation. I guess that'd be intentional too. Quality time, and then receiving gifts.
I think all of those things for me require intention, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't want when it comes to how I want to be loved and I don't want to feel like you're doing it because you have to do it. I want you to feel like you're doing it.
It's coming from a genuine
want
place.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Right. So like I don't want you to be like, oh man.
It's your birthday, so I gotta give you some ass tonight. Like, no, nigga, I'm gonna bounce that ass every night.
Or be like, oh man, it's so much time has gone by since we've done this. Let me do it just because, you know, like I like that to me is a big part of it. Now, again, we can have all those things. We can have the touch, the affirmations. We can have all of those things. But if the intention is missing, then I may be looking at things differently. So like, if you are paying exclusive attention to the things that I need the most, which I think ultimately comes down to where, you know, we're having the conversation around identifying what the love language is like. If you pay attention to what I need the most, then I think we can get through all of those things, right?
But I think Job kind of hit, you know, he hit the nail on the head with this. We're dynamic. Human beings are dynamic. We're never
Yeah.
in a static state,
Streamline,
right? So like if I might need acts of service, I might need all of those things at different times depending on whatever's going on in my life. I might need
Mhm.
something that's not even defined in that shit. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. But again, remember the question I asked initially. What is the thing that if you with your partner that you cannot live without? I can live without a lot of those things. I can't live
Right.
without intention, me personally.
But see, that's what I'm saying though. Like to me, intention, effort, that's part of it. But again, I feel like when they do stuff like put it in those little boxes, we got 5 boxes, right?
Uh-huh.
Some people rely, they literally look at that book and they look at those love languages, then they're like the Bible, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes
Mm.
my love language might be, I'm having a fucked up day. I might need your ass to give me some goddamn space,
Word.
right?
That's very true. That's very true.
Right.
I'm like
Right.
I'm like that
Well-
every day when I end my work day. Like I need some time to
To
decompress. And
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, sometimes, you know, your partner may not understand that part or they may feel rejected by you. But it's just like, no, for me to be able to love you the way that I need to love you right now, I need you to give me 45 minutes of space. Like I need that individual time to myself. And I think that's the problem with a lot of relationships is that you lose your individuality in relationships. Like,
So
you
is
know what I'm
it-
saying? The lines
Maybe-
become blurred.
Is it that
I w-
we are just trying to are we trying to identify it and label it versus just
Being reactionary.
having a conversation about wants and needs?
So it's kind of close to
I
what
think
you're
it's
saying,
wants and
Nate, but I'm gonna
needs.
present it in a way that I think is more, I guess, relevant or people can understand it better. I look at them as the number one thing in a relationship is communication, right?
I
So
agree.
you gotta be able to communicate. People have a hard time communicating how they feel or what they need. So the love languages simplifies for people to be able to explain to their partner what they need in the moment or how they feel in the moment. And then conversely, their partner can share those things too in a nice packaged way. So like if I'm struggling to communicate to my lady and all I can get out, like, man, I want to fuck or I want some ass. Really, I'm saying I need some physical touch, some physical attention. So it helps me communicate that in a more palatable way where I can, or like if my
Palatable
wife
for
want
who?
to spend for the person, the receiver, because again, it's communication. You think you communicate well, but you may not based on your partner. Your partner may think
Let
they
me ask you a
communicate
question.
well, but they may not based on how you receive it. It's all about the receiver and the messenger. So it helps drive those conversations within a relationship when you kind of streamline and simplify the
Would
means
you
of
agree that
communication.
like it's not even close, that the majority of communication is nonverbal
In a marriage,
in
I don't
anything?
know. I don't agree with that.
nah, I don't think
So
so.
y'all don't think Nate, you can't tell it the type of mood that your wife is in from her body language,
Yes, very
from her
much so.
manner. She ain't
I
said
could
shit
for
to
sure,
you,
for sure, for
right?
sure.
So she's
She ain't got to
communicating.
say a word to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Sometimes you could look at her and you can see, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you could pick
That's
up
what I
on
was
certain
saying
shit.
earlier. That's what
Yeah,
I was
for
saying
Right.
earlier.
For sure.
So nothing has been said, but she's communicated to you because you're that in tune with her. Right. So
Something
that's what
is
I'm
wrong,
saying.
but you don't know what the something is.
Sometimes when something's wrong with me, nigga, I'm not looking to explain to her what the fuck's wrong with me. I'm looking for her to understand that something's wrong and maybe, you know, pick up on what works for me. That's
Let me
why I
throw
think
the
that book is kind of bullshit.
but let me throw the wrench in it, right? Let's
All right.
say that Jaffe love language is like you said, sometimes, yo, just leave me to myself, let me decompress, but like what if your partner love language is? I mean,
Spending
like
time.
Quality time, I gotta be
it's
up under
acts of
you,
service.
right.
I like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I say this is that's why I talked about the 4 dimensions, right? So it's how we want, what we want and how we give, and the other person
What
on
they
how
want and
they
how they
what they
give.
want and how they give. Because all of those things have to mesh to have a you know what I'm saying, a synergy between the two of y'all.
You
know what
It gonna work.
I'm gonna just say it, G. I'm gonna say it.
What's
This
up?
nigga was trying to sell books, right? Because I've
Yeah.
always felt like this thing is bullshit. Learn your partner, all right? If you
Simple
around
as
your
that.
partner, you learn your partner, you will pick up on how to, you know,
Communicate to
their
your partner.
needs. Right, you'll pick up on how to
That's
how
it.
to meet
Like
their
you said,
That's
in
once
a
all
good
the
point.
different walks
Like-
of their existence.
and
That's
like
a
you
good
said
point.
earlier, Nate, it's wants and needs. Like
Yeah.
a person doesn't become your partner until you fully encompass that person. Like you have that dating stage, and then y'all get together and y'all start to build together. But within like 3 to 6 months, you kind of know who your person is as a person.
Longer than
And-
that.
But
Longer
I'm just
than that.
saying, I'm just
Yeah.
saying. But then at that point, you know how to communicate with that person. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know when that person is like in my previous relationship, I would know exactly when that person was, you know what I'm saying, not feeling me. She would address me differently. You know what I'm saying? It would be more like my name. Like 90% of the time I'm Bay, Snuggles, or all that other shit, right? And then the next 10 minutes is Deshaun is whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Hey,
I
fam.
know what to communicate. What's good, Chief? What's good, Chief?
Hey, fam.
You know, oh yeah, Shorty.
Hey,
You know what I'm
shorty.
saying? Like, cuz, like all that
Hey,
shit.
cuz.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like not too much, like, you know, phrases like that. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I can still come to that person and communicate with her without her being like, I need like physical touch. Physical touch don't mean I just want to be fucked. Maybe I just want you to come lay on my chest and stroke my beard. You know what I'm saying? Real shit though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to say like, baby, I need physical touch. I need you to understand that my needs are physical touch. It's like, no, baby,
Right, but
I'm
we
fucked
not-
up right
we-
here. Like, come lay with a nigga and rub my motherfucking belly type shit.
It's
Like-
it's 4 men on here talking about this. Men are logical. We're problem solvers. Like, so yeah, the shit sounds foo-foo as hell for us.
So sell
but,
that shit to them women,
you
not
gotta
us,
remember-
nigga.
but we're
I
partners.
think that
We're
was his
partnership.
audience,
It's
was
men
the-
and women, right?
No.
And
No,
the
because he
communication
sold
gap
that
is
shit to the
there.
women, and now they bleeding that shit on us.
Y'all,
Like,
y'all the first niggas I ever talked to about love language. I've only heard the term love language from women.
right,
Right.
and they bleed that shit on us.
because
I
it
mean-
helps them communicate.
But this is
I
what
don't think I'm gonna get killed for this, but I don't think women are good communicators. So I think they need this.
The
shit to help.
worst. The worst. I agree with you. They are the worst. I feel like they over communicate, but they don't communicate the shit that's a priority.
They're not. Yeah, they're not good communicators.
I think we walk into relationships feeling like, you know, that we can be who we are and marry that with who they are, and it be this glorious thing. And that's not the case, right? Because like I know I knew who I wanted and what I wanted and all these things, you know, and I didn't feel like I was ready at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a long time to figure out that, oh man, I should get married. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to be this perfect version of myself in a relationship, and that's not the case. You learn so much about who you are, how you appreciate and go about life, and vice versa with your partner, just over time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Can I
things
say-
change. Go ahead.
But okay, yeah, go ahead.
No,
What
Zach.
I want to say is we come into relationships as individuals, and
Yeah,
no
of course.
relationship works without sacrifice.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the biggest
saying.
part of any relationship working is what you're willing to sacrifice, because you're never gonna fucking marry the two things and it fit perfect.
Now, keep
Right.
that
It's
thought.
never gonna fit
Keep
perfect.
that thought. What you're willing to sacrifice, right? Now,
Mhm.
again, rewinding back to what,
Right.
what I asked you guys.
Okay,
like,
the love
it's
languages
certain- it's
work in
certain
that
things-
capacity.
It's certain things that you can't compromise on in order to fulfill yourself. in a
Your
What
needs.
you need, your
Right.
needs,
Yes.
and what her
There's
wants
certain
are.
things that you can't compromise. So, like, I think in that term, it is some validity into understanding how you show up in a love atmosphere. You know what
But
I'm
to
saying?
your point, you
I'm
just said
trying
it.
not to say love,
But no.
language,
But to
how
your
you-
point,
yeah.
to your point, you just said you waited long enough to where you thought it was gonna be perfect, a perfect
Yeah.
like synergy. And once you realize like I'm not gonna get that perfect synergy, but you knew your person at
But
that point.
But I will say this though, throughout that same time period, I was able to identify the things that I could and would not.
So did somebody have
compromise
to tell you those things, or
I
did you
had to
just
figure that
learn
out.
those things?
I had to learn
from your
those
Chapman
partner.
tell you those
You
things.
learned those
hold on.
things.
I didn't necessarily have to learn it from them, or they had to learn it from me. I think time and experiences showed up in places to where I was like,
So again,
I
fuck
need
Gary
this
Chapman.
shit. I need this. And same thing for her. She needs this. And we identify that over time that like, hey, this is more of a priority than I thought
so
it
let
was.
me ask you this.
But
So now that you
But
know that she
everybody's
needs
not
that, do you
skilled at
overdo it now?
communicating like that.
What's that? No.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, I was just saying everybody's not skilled communicators like that. Like you and your wife might have a good communicative relationship that the next couple may not have. So
And you met.
I'm not gonna
have
never
developed
knock
that
people
20
for
years
reading
in
a
the
book.
game.
First of all, like I'm never gonna not advocate for books.
But Alex,
Get in your
but
books, bro. Read some shit.
you
get
right,
some
Alex.
knowledge.
You right, Alex. But the same people that me and my wife are today, we weren't
Y'all
the
were
same people
not-
20
Nate,
years
you
ago.
just hit the
18.
nail on the head. Because what I needed 15 years ago when I met my wife
Completely
is not at
different.
all what I need right now.
Right.
Right.
And my issue with that book in general is the fact that it creates rigidity in how you
Habits.
deal
Niggas
with
ain't
your
even
partner.
read the book, bro. We
But no,
slept.
but this is what we said.
I tried to.
We've heard.
I read like
I'm gonna tell you
18
this.
pages
I've
of
heard
it.
that shit so much, bro, that motherfuckers use that shit as a fucking cape. Like, you know what I'm saying? They overdo it. You know what I'm saying? They
I'ma ask
will.
you.
They will.
I'm gonna ask you a question, G, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Because what you're saying, and I want to ask a follow-up question, the initial question I asked. And again, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you good.
But will if you can
Because I'm
identify
fine as hell in this camera tonight. But go ahead.
big filter, if you can identify the person in your life,
It's a hater everywhere.
if you can identify the person in your life who loved you the most, whether it's a romantic partner, mom, dukes, whoever it was,
it's always my
whoever
dudes.
it is, do you think that person can identify what your love language is? I can guarantee that they can.
My mom would. My mom, yeah.
I guarantee.
But
they
my
can.
daughter loves me unconditional, nigga.
Your daughter's 6.
But that's what I'm saying. She don't know that. But that's what I'm saying. But that's the point that I'm making. But that's the point that I'm making.
Yeah,
She
My
don't know
love
shit
language
about
is
no love
different
language.
for the different relationships. Like I don't need physical touch from my children. That's what I need from my partner, my
I
wife.
love when my daughter hug me.
yeah.
That shit.
I mean, I do
that,
too, but I don't need.
Cameron
need
don't
that.
hug
I
me
guess-
much no more, nigga. But that shit warms me up every time that little nigga show me some love, G.
Yeah.
When he dap it up with me, G, like I gotta force this nigga to take pictures, you know, in his football uniform, just like you know what I'm saying. Like nigga, that is yes, nigga. Sometimes you, as a parent, you need affirmation too that your kids still see you
Of
as a
course.
fucking rock star, nigga. Like you know what I'm saying.
Of
So
course.
I don't need
I
that.
think
Like, go ahead.
I think for my kids, I would probably say I'm more acts of service. That's what I need from them.
Nigga, every parent is acts of service. They broke. Fuck you mean? Like,
Right.
they broke,
The
nigga.
reason why I asked that question, because we're talking about love from a relationship
A
standpoint.
relationship standpoint.
And love is going to be in many different aspects. You know what I'm saying? I knew what my father's love language was. You know what I'm saying? And how he delivered it. 100%.
My son know my love language.
Absolutely.
He know that shit from day one. Like nigga, my pops gonna show. He ain't gonna never be able to look up in the stands and not know his pops ain't up there. He ain't gonna be able to turn on, flip a light switch. Like my pop's gonna show up on what I need, nigga. Like
I would bet
all that
my
other
kids
shit.
know that too. And I would go out on a limb and say the people that I love know how I give it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, how I want to receive it may be harder to break the code on that.
Them niggas suck at giving shit, G. Them niggas never be gifting. Broke ass little niggas, man.
They give you the school made projects.
G Cam just stopped going all the way. That nigga just be like, I'm about to order.
The
That
macaroni
nigga just
necklace.
look. He must have heard us out here podding a couple weeks ago. G, that nigga definitely be on. I'm about to order something on DoorDash, Dad. You trying to get down?
Yeah.
Trying to get down?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? But like,
I'll take it though. I'll take it though.
That may be him. You know, I trying to identify how you want to receive it.
True.
You know what I mean?
He definitely bought all the ribs yesterday, G. and then he made sure we bust them bitches down evenly, G, because he footed the bill, my nigga.
To look at Gary Chapman's book as the fucking Bible, I think it's wrong. Period.
It's wrong. Period.
But
okay, but let me say this: he's
it's
got a
great.
theology background and he's a pastor, so I'm assuming a lot of his work is
A
rooted
Baptist?
from biblical texts. I don't
What
know
do
if it's
you-
Baptist,
that nigga
but he went to
Pentecostal.
theology.
Presbyterian nigga, like
Have you
He's a
seen this
pastor.
nigga? This nigga's definitely Pentecostal, G.
Yeah.
You see, dude. man?
Non-denominational.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we,
no, but it's
we gonna leave Gary Chapman
it's,
where he
it's
at, G.
validity to it. You know what I'm saying? However,
And to any of our female listeners, if you would like to rebuttal or give us a better insight into it, because again, none of us have dug into the book. I mean, I think between of us,
Got like 18
between,
pages.
that's what I'm saying. Between all of us, we're probably
We got-
25 pages in. I
we
think
got a lot
Alex,
of-
I think Alex did read the book. In
No, I ain't read the book. I
Okay, so
got a
we
little
probably
bit
got
further
30.
than
We
John.
probably got 30 pages between us, right?
we got a lot of
Comment-
women listeners.
You can comment down below. You can reach out to one of us. We all got our pages up. We can
Don't-
talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Don't jump in their DM, G. Don't
Don't
do
reach
that.
out to me, nigga. I don't
But-
want to talk to you. Because like,
But let's
me
let's
and my
let's,
wife, we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk
let's
about
further
it.
this conversation, because I think the love language shit is bullshit. I think it's a crutch that a lot of Gen Zers and millennials lean on.
Market employee.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know, we gonna leave this here. We're gonna parking lot this for now. Let's go ahead and wrap up the show, man. We've been here a little too long, man. Shit, it's past this uncle's bedtime. So let's check in, man. Shit, last week we had a lot of four and a halves and fives going around. How we feeling this week? CLB, where you at?
Good money, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm wrapped. By the time this pod drop,
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna have
graduate, right?
an 18-year-old graduate. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man.
Nigga, that's 2 checks, nigga.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that I have a whole adult in these streets, man. And you know
Real
what I'm saying?
deal adult.
And
Real
this
deal.
mug is literally in adulthood, man. But outside of that, you know, things.
We
things
see you pluck the
cooking, man.
grades, G. We see you pluck the
no,
grades, G.
I ain't plucked the grades, yeah. I think
that nigga Nate at home using
I got
that
a filter on my
shoe
shit,
polish,
too.
G.
I got a filter on my shit too, G. They still there, G. They
All right.
hey, cause real shit, once I get the salt and pepper, it's over for you niggas, G. I'm being this motherfucker. Over for you niggas, you know what I'm saying? But I'm good, man.
Put a
Feeling
number
great.
on it.
Feeling great, man. Hey, I'm at a 5 until something knock me off, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I pray not to knock you off, G. I
Big
hope you
John.
stay there all year, G.
Shiesty commas.
Hey, look, man, I'm at a 5 too, man. My uncle came from out of town, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to chop it up, eat good, watch the
Nigga
fight and
definitely was
shit.
out here eating the rib sandwiches on the sweet rolls,
Bro,
G.
that man, hey,
That's a vibe in itself.
listen,
a
man.
fact.
I'm gonna put y'all on, man. Hawaiian bread. Take the roll and just grab the rib meat off the bone and just have you a rib slider. G. It'll change your life, man.
Too much
It'll
work.
change your life, man. But I'm
It'll put
definitely
you at
gonna
a
be
5 for the week.
man, you gonna be on cloud 9. Yeah, I'm definitely at a 5, man. Al.
All right, so for me, I'm gonna steal a little bit of time because I got a couple things I want to say. So
Talk your shit.
first of all, shout out to Alexis, my oldest. She just made 12 on Saturday.
Happy
Well,
birthday.
Happy birthday.
on the negative side, I'm dealing with a 12-year-old girl, which I know 2 of y'all have went through that already, so y'all already know what that is. So the attitude and the whatever, you know, all that little personality changes and all that shit. But I would be remiss to not, you know, give her flowers. Straight A student. She's going for honors next year in 7th grade. So shout out to her.
Let's go.
My niece Kennedy, she just graduated on Sunday from Naperville North, going to Howard University. So again, got to give her flowers.
Yeah, the
So
round
I'm
of
happy about
applause
that.
is going
Yes.
around.
Yep. And then for me personally, and talking to my therapist with my wife, she mentioned, I mean, I'm sure y'all watch the pod, so y'all know I'm kind of jittery and shit. I got ADHD. I try to manage it myself as best as I possibly can. I've been doing pretty good with it for 20-something years, non-medicated. But in talking to the therapist, she mentioned that there's other drugs out there other than Ritalin. So I'm gonna talk to the doctor to see if there's something that might fit my current lifestyle. Somewhere I can take it when I need to focus on shit. And then when I don't need it, I can just not have to take it. So I'm kind of in that phase trying to see, you know, if I could do something to help me stay focused in this transitionary period in my life so I can stay grinding and stay on point for the fam. So I would say with all the things I think going in my direction, I'm gonna say I'm about at a 4.5, 5 still.
I had an ill time joke that I decided not to.
Yeah, nigga, keep
Hey,
it off
Yeah,
the
relax.
couch. Keep it
I
off the
will
couch.
say this, G. I'm super proud of you, G. You know what I'm saying? Like real
Yeah.
talk.
Appreciate
Real
it.
talk. I mean,
Appreciate it.
it's necessary, bro. You know, that's
Yeah.
necessary.
All right, Jafito, where you at?
All right, so I wish we could end it on like these super duper fives like we've been for about a month. I'm gonna put my number on it early. I'm at like a 4. Like you know what I'm saying? Nothing negative really. I'm at a transition point, and I'm really trying to figure out what's my next move because life is life, and we getting ready to get into summer. I'm feeling stagnant, so I got to make myself uncomfortable so that I can get my come up, So that's what I'm in the process of doing. So while I'm in the process of doing it, everything ain't rainbows and butterflies, but I don't have a reason to complain, bro. I'm like beyond blessed. My kids is healthy. My daughter's got a surgery coming up that I had to push my vacation this week back for. So that's heavy on me. And then I got 2 surgeries coming up that I'm gonna take a little time away for too. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna make myself real uncomfortable over the summer, you know what I'm saying? So that when I do hit the ground, I'm gonna hit the ground running the way I want to hit the ground. So I would say
you getting an EBL, G?
No, G, no DBL, G, no DBL, G. But skinny big head Jaffe, 3 buttons down, definitely on his way back.
En route, my nigga.
Definitely en route, G. At least by Dallas in December, G. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a whole different animal. But I say I'm at about a 4, G. Like I got a lot to be like eager about, you know what I'm saying? But it's just I get this way when I got shit that's coming up. Like I try not to let my anxiety and my ambitions get ahead of like what I gotta do. So I'm gonna say I'm at a 4, man. I'm maintaining like the anticipation for sure. So I'm super solid, man. I love the fact that the energy's back with the pod. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you dudes. I appreciate us being able to come on here and be vulnerable every week. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, man, I just want to give y'all niggas y'all flowers tonight, man. And I want to give our listeners our flowers. Y'all motivate us to get out here and do it every week. We talk shop all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But when we turn on this record button and we actually get to put that shit out to y'all, G, it do something different for us, man. So I just want to let y'all niggas know that y'all appreciate it. The listeners, we appreciate y'all. The motherfuckers that's been with us from the jump, and the people that's gonna be with us after this, keep it moving, man. Let's keep the momentum on this. So on that note, if we ain't got nothing else to say, what I'm gonna say.
If you want some more rainbows in your life, G, Oreo got something for you, G.
I'm gonna tell you this. DoorDash. There will be a DoorDash order just to see what's to them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you gotta see what's to them, huh?
They might get thrown off the balcony, G, but we're gonna see what's to them. But before I indict myself, G, Alex, get us the fuck out of here, man.
Hey, stay tuned next week. I'm going to see Janet in concert on Saturday. So
you trying to get yours?
Moves, G.
You trying to get yours, man?
Moves.
I don't know. She up there, so we might have some funnies for the pod next Monday.
They trying to have Alex
before you do your
strapped up, G.
Hey, so if Janet pick you out the audience, because I'm assuming you going with your wife, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You gonna respectfully decline, or you gonna go up there?
Nigga, I'm going on
Chauncey know this nigga love language. She know this nigga love language.
Touch. Hey, on that note, y'all know what time it is. Holla.